Mr. Forth.
Good morning, Jacob.
What?
Good morning. Where are we at? Are we good to go Thursday, or we cancel Thursday?
Fishing game never called me back, so I gotta call them back today. And Agri Service is good to go. So we have Agri Service, Cooper for horse, and then the ATV guys. So there's 3 people, I just need the 2 others.
So Mrs. Wilson, I'm gonna tell her here sometime. Is it a go or is it a no-go?
To go.
It's a go. You'll have 5 rotations.
Alright, let me go make a call just to make sure. Call.
I'm a little iffy on the gun one. I'll send that to her on what you got going on. Connor Knight, what's going on?
Not much. A little puzzled about the snow.
A little puzzled about it? What are you puzzled about?
Just came out of nowhere. Happy
Oh, I don't know. They've been talking about it for a while.
I know. I saw it last
You
night.
glad to see you go to slow?
It said 8 inches at first, and they changed to like 3.
Got quite a bit over that way. Coming this way still. We might get it still.
Oh, still snowing. I when did it start?
I don't know. I think it started out at 2 or 3.
It wasn't snowing when I went to bed.
Yeah, me either, but when I got up about 4, I looked out the window, it was snow. I wasn't serious, don't rock.
Why?
We tied too much. It's gonna plug you.
Not just me.
Good luck, everybody. Tough fish for tough days. Most of the video.
Oh! Boom! Now let's tie it. Leave it! Just leave it! Don't touch it.
As it flies back up.
Jacob is master today.
No, I need to try to tie it tighter. Just don't touch it.
Now we can't start work. We just have to leave it down. Hold.
Yep.
I know.
Leave it.
It's just to blow it.
And you never come back down. Put it back to that.
Probably not, no.
She's been saying it for like the last 7 weeks, and I'm like,
Well, and I have practiced too.
oh, you do?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, I've been waking up every Tuesday morning and
That's
texting
usually
her, hey,
what
I know, and then I
That's
text him off like.
no.
Okay.
All that.
And then she
No,
was
there's no I'll try. I need
she just told me that we were starting forever.
do it.
I forgot to let everyone else.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, that's what she told me 4 weeks ago.
Count.
Yeah. It was moving right along.
You're caught. That's what you're saying.
We didn't have to like study it.
It's not that bad. Compared to last year. Correct.
Really? I thought we started in March.
What are you doing Thursday after lunch? With Master?
Jacob, I haven't been.
What? No.
Thursday.
Because he might be screwing me over right now. 'Cause
You
I
won't
need-
go out with me there?
No, I need someone to do horse safety for ag in the classroom. And he said he would do it, now he's saying he can't. Some stuff in there. Family problems. Has Emily's love. Yeah. Area service coming in, have an ATV guy coming in, and then
Good morning, High School. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Staff days, lunch, Mr. Pepperly, foyer, Mr. Tillman, bus, Mr. Robertson, detention, Mr. Burke, staff room, Mr. Maxwell, and Mrs. Underwood. South Hall has early lunch. Lunch today is a turkey sub. Grab and go is a turkey sub. All juniors will be participating in Higher Education Day, which will be held Thursday, March 31st, from 1 to 2:30. Colleges will be set up in the South Hall. Friday is the first annual Tri-M Throwback. It's an early release day, so stick around after school to relive the glory days. Come enter the Guitar Hero, Mario Kart, or Just Dance tournaments, or play heavy metal yoga balls, a Tri-M original. It's $5 for entry, but make sure you get a permission slip on the office ASAP. Talk to Avery Gonzalez or Ashley Miller for more information. Interested in powder puff? Forms are in the office. Game is April 11th. Forms and money are due April 6th. You must have 6 to 10 players, and each player must pay $2 per entry. Driver's Ed. The next driver's education class will begin in May and run to the first part of July. The coursework is online. If interested, you must be 14 and a half by April 4th. Born on or before October 4th, 2001. Sign up in the office by Friday, April 1st. The class list will be posted on Monday, April 4th. The cost is $175 for those in the class. There's a club band meeting tomorrow during lunch in room 121. Alright, have a great day, guys.
Alright. How's the break?
Alright, hey, all freshman football players, we will resume our journey meeting today at lunch. So all freshman football players join me at lunch. Also, the softball team did a catalog fundraiser where they were selling some Bulldog apparel beginning of the season. And then apparel has came in and have people that are wanting to order some more. So if we are going to run another order on that, and if there's anybody that's wanting to order anything from them and actually have a catalog in the front office, and if you want to order something from that, you can sign up on the order form in there. You will need to pay at the time of your order as well. So you will have to pay the receivers at that time as well. So if you're interested in that, that will be in the front office. Thank you.
Okay, now I think they're done. Okay, how's break? Good? Do some fun stuff? No? Nothing. Well, I can be fun, I guess. Any of the rest of you? I know Jacob went fishing. That good a break? Yeah. What do we do before break? Somebody remind me.
We were on
Took test over the anatomy,
Oh yeah, that's right.
reproductive unit, finished that up. And then we started talking just a little bit the last part of that last class about I had to look up some capital press articles related to genetics. Yeah, started talking about genetics. I got a little bit of varied response through the genetics, a couple of things that concerned me, so I think we'll start sort of with a review, go through some Punnett squares a little bit, and then we'll get more into the depth of DNA and some of the cell structures, how things get to be structured the way they are. Make sense? So how many of you had the same hair color as your parents? Show of hands. Or one parent, at least. Okay? Quite a few. How many is different than your parent? So neither one of your parents have the same hair color as you do. 3 of you. Interesting. Those of you that said you did have the same hair color as a parent, is it the same as both parents or is it the same as one parent? Just one? Both? Just one? Both? Okay. What was yours, Jacob? Both? Cool. Why do you think that is? Dominance, recessive, has something to do with it. What does that mean? Do you remember? Biology class? So dominant is something means more likely, recessive might mean less likely. Okay.
75-25 type of thing in most situations.
Okay. So Connor, you said you're the same as one parent. Which one parent are you?
My dad, sure.
Your dad. What color is he? He's blonde, and your mom is
Like brown.
like light brown. So maybe blonde would be dominant over light brown.
Well, usually blonde is recessive.
Usually blonde's recessive. Okay. So you got the recessive gene. Interesting.
I know, because blonde's like really common now, but it's technically the recessive gene.
Interesting. Kiara, you said yours was one. Or yours is both. So you're both blonde? Cool.
Yeah, it's your-
You had one? You
Another
have-
car.
Your dad, he's blonde. Your mom is brown hair. Cool. So these are all traits. And if you remember back to biology, we had the Punnett squares to get to our traits. We're going to talk more about how those Punnett squares work. Go into more detail about dominant, recessive, all that fun stuff. Guided notes, I know your favorite thing in the world, but you have to write everything down, right? Hey Matt, I just have a couple of quizzes. So it's gonna be timber cruising.
Get a haircut?
So
Bald now. Just don't have any
That's
back
okay.
here.
you were missing a couple of quizzes from PowerSchool. Let's see which ones they are. And then after school, take them. Okay.
Tree poster thing?
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Is a paper for the tree poster on the
I think so.
Okay.
It was. Or it was going to be. Everybody have one of these guided note sheets? Got you, Kiara. So it's gonna have you do your own definitions as we're going through our definitions of some of these things. So genetics, first and foremost, is the study of inheritance of genes. So, hair color, your eye color, all your physical traits are things that you inherit from one or both parents. How traits are passed down from parents to their offspring. And so this doesn't just happen in humans, this is animal science, it happens in animals, of course. And we talked a little bit about what we were looking for in some of the animals. Things like the muscling, bone structure, some of those are traits that are genetic and are transferred down from parents to offspring. So every individual offspring gets at least 2 copies of every gene. One from the parent, mother, one from the father. One from each parent. Each version of a gene is called an allele. Kind of funny little word. An allele is the version of a gene. Okay. So you're going to get one allele from both parents for every gene. So hair color, you're going to get one allele from your mom, one allele from your dad. Same on eye color. All those different traits. Your face shape, your nose shape, all that stuff are things that are inherited. Some of this sound familiar from biology? A little bit? So when we were talking about the hair color, Connor or Cecily brought up the dominant and recessive. Dominant genes are always expressed if they are present. Recessive genes are only expressed if no dominant genes are present. So Connor was saying that blonde hair was recessive, so there's probably no dominant gene expressed there. And you'll see how that can happen with our Punnett squares. Give you a couple minutes to finish filling in that note section. Some of these pictures crack me up. Giant gorilla. Little monkey picking his nose. Still see a few pencils moving. Good to go ahead? Alright. So when we're talking about dominant or recessive, there are things called homozygous and heterozygous. Okay? If we go back to our root words, homo, what does homo mean? The same. And hetero, different. Okay? So we have a combination of genes, and they combine to either be homozygous or heterozygous. What does that mean? It means that homozygous, both of your genes are the same. So both genes are dominant or both genes are recessive. Homozygous, both genes are the same. So there it has an example, capital A would be homozygous dominant. Both alleles are dominant. Heterozygous means that they're different. So you have a dominant and you have a recessive. So in this case, it would say capital A, little a. Heterozygous, one dominant allele, the capital A, one recessive allele, the little a. Does everybody remember when we're talking about dominant, recessive, the dominant is always the capital letter. Recessive is always the little letter. Make sure we remember that. So blonde hair people, you think you're homozygous or heterozygous? Are you dominant or recessive? What do you think?
Homozygous, recessive.
Homozygous and recessive. I would agree. You got both the little recessive blonde genes. What did you write the wrong line?
I thought it was almost gene, whatever, and then the heterozygous.
Gotcha.
Whatever.
Everybody got that one? You'll see a little writing. Do you know dominant and recessive genes on your rabbits? Like, have you looked all that up to see which colors are dominant and which are recessive?
Rabbits don't follow any rules.
Rabbits are just kind of weird.
They do.
Interesting.
Because I had a try, and the try is recessive, like very, very recessive. And I bred it with red, and all the babies should have turned out red. I got 4 Harlequin and 4 try.
Interesting.
I got no red.
Interesting. Genotype and phenotype. What are these? I remember talking about them a little bit with our reproduction unit. Genotype is the genes that an organism has. So the things that maybe you can't see. inside the cells, those genes. Do we have dominant? Do we have recessive? Are they homozygous dominant? Heterozygous dominant? What's up? Phenotype is the actual physical characteristic that's created by the genes. Okay? So, for example, this guy, Mr. Cone, heterozygous variety. His genotype has genes for both blue and brown eyes. So one parent had blue eyes, one parent had brown eyes. However, his phenotype is brown eyes. So he has the genes for both blue and brown. But the physical, what he actually has, is brown. The blue color not expressed because it's recessive. Okay? Making a little sense, or is it totally muddy? If it's totally muddy, give me a minute and we'll beat you some Punnett squares where you can see how this works with our little octopus friend.
All my classes have been so quiet lately. I think spring break killed you all.
Spring break almost killed me. They've been dead a couple days. Yeah. Okay, everybody got that? So here's the Punnett square. So brown eyes would be dominant, homozygous dominant. Blue eyes, homozygous recessive. You combine and you end up with heterozygous on all of them. But will the recessive trait ever be shown in that Punnett square shown up there? Nope. You've got both genes, but you're going to have brown eyes. So what is a Punnett square? The tool used to determine possible genetic outcomes of the offspring of two parents. So you combine this parent with this parent, what can their offsprings have? So we can determine the parents or the offspring's phenotype and genotype. And a Punnett square shows all the possible combinations of offspring genotypes that a couple could have. And we start out with some simple ones. They get pretty complex. The more genes you add, they get pretty huge. We're just going to start off with the pretty simple ones. Maybe next time we'll work on some more complex. Questions about Punnett squares? I think you are all somewhat familiar with those. So there again, the same Punnett square that we had with the eye colors, showing that if you combine a dominant homozygous with a recessive homozygous, you get all four possibilities being heterozygous dominant. So let's actually create some Punnett squares. We have this family. Looks like, let's say, the dad is a green octopus, the mom is a purple octopus. You get 4 little baby octopi, and they're all green. So how would we make a Punnett square for this? What do you think? So the green might be dominant? So let's all draw in our space our little box. Jacob's saying green would be the dominant. Does everybody agree? Does somebody disagree? You agree? Okay. Anybody else agree? Anybody disagree? So what letters should we give the green dominant? Capital G. What about the second letter? Another capital G, a small g? Another capital G. Okay. What about purple? What should it be? Is it dominant or recessive? Brianna says it's a recessive gene. Everybody agree? Disagree? Purple. Recessive? Yeah? Okay. What letter should we give it? A little g? What about the other one? A little g? Okay. So we combine these, and what do we get? Big G, little g there. Big G and a little g there. Big G, little g here. Those two. And big G, little g. With those two. So we end up just like our eye color. We have dominant homozygous, recessive homozygous. We combine them, we get all what? All what word are we looking for? Heterozygous. With the big G being dominant, so all four little babies are going to be green. Make sense? Good job. So step one, there's some steps. And you all went through those steps really well. First thing we got to do, figure out the genotypes of the parents. You all did great. One, pretty simple. Recessive parent has to have two little letters, which you said were little g, little g. The other has two possibilities. You went with dominant homozygous, so big G, big G. How do you know that it wasn't big A, little a, or big G, little g? So all the kids were green, Jacob's saying, Connor's saying, well, it was just chance. You don't know. So what we do know is that one parent is for sure homozygous recessive. Little g, little g. Another parent is either heterozygous, big G, little g, or homozygous, big G, big G. Like Connor said, maybe we don't know. But we have another step. Figure out all the possible offspring that the parents could have. So for all the possible genotypes, figure out what the offspring would look like in each case. So we make a Punnett square for each possibility. So let's make one for heterozygous. And I don't care if you write this on your notes. I just want to do it up here so you can all see. So heterozygous is going to be what? Big G, little g. Did our recessive change? So what is it? Are you sure? Little g, little g. Recessive didn't change. The only possibility for the recessive is little g, little g. Okay? So now we combine these. We get a big G and a little g. A big G and a little g. Combine these two. Little g, little g. Those two give us a little g and a little g. So that would be 50% green, 50% purple. So that's a possibility of these parents, maybe. So we created the Punnett squares. It used A's, we went with G's. You can see that our heterozygous looks like the one on the left, where we had 50%, 50%, and our homozygous looks like the one on the right. You'd agree with that? So then we're going to select a Punnett square that reflects what we see. So Jacob, you were absolutely right. You said all 4 little baby octopus were green. So we had it right the first time. The one parent was homozygous dominant, big G, big G. The other parent was homozygous recessive, little g, little g. Make sense? Bobbleheads? Do I need to make you get up and stretch? So again, we ended up with all green. Green was the dominant. You guys did great. Can't be the one on the left because half of our babies aren't purple. It's that simple. What about this one?
It's the one on the left.
So it's that heterozygous. How do you know it's the heterozygous? So now we have half our babies purple, half our babies green. So our same Punnett squares over here on this board looks more like that bottom one now. Everybody agree? Good. The genotypes of the parents, we said green and purple. Possibilities for the offspring. We could have had all green, but looking at our picture, we have half green, half purple. So we created the Punnett squares using the same ones that we already had, and we selected the one that was accurate for ours, which was the bottom one. Okay? Why wouldn't the other one work in this case? So if we used that other square, we couldn't have had any purple babies. But we do have purple babies. So clearly it couldn't work. Okay? So that's the steps we're going to go through here in just a few minutes when we're making our own little baby goats. It's going to be fun. The other parent is either dominant homozygous or dominant recessive. These parents should have a mixed offspring. And then we're going to create our Punnett squares. That's our steps. Okay? So this is just going through what we've already done on the board. You know the one on the left is right. You have half and half. Remember the other Punnett square is not correct? Well, we don't have all green babies. So obviously it has to. Okay? What about this family? We have 2 green parents, 3 green babies, and 1 purple baby. Now how does that happen? So Cooper's saying some letters. Connor's starting to write.
So those parents, it would be the parents of the first, or like kids of the first bunch that we did, because they both have one recessive gene.
Okay. So let's make a Punnett square, see how this might happen. So we have 2 green parents. What should we make? What are the possible genotypes of those parents? So we could have a big G, a little g, and we could have a big G, big G. We could have heterozygous or we could have homozygous. They're 2 options. Right? What about, okay, so they're both going to be that way. Let's make a first Punnett square here. And let's just say that they're both homozygous dominant. What would we end up with? Basically all big G's, right? Okay? So, is that what we see up here? Brown's saying no, Cecily's shaking her head. What do we see up here? We see a purple one. So how do we get that purple one? Are they both going to be, let's just try all our possibilities. Let's leave this parent, let's say the dad, as a homozygous dominant. Let's change the mom to a heterozygous. What would happen there? So we have big G, little, and big G, sorry. Big G, big G. Big G, little g. Big G, little g. So they're all heterozygous. If we all had heterozygous with big G, little g, what color are they going to be? They're going to be green. Is that what we see on the board with our picture? Why not, Brianna? So you see a purple one up there. So how do we get a purple baby? So both parents should be a big G, little g. Let's try that.
Yeah.
So we go big G, little g. Sorry. Okay. Okay, Brianna. What do we get? We get a big G, big G, big G, little g. Big G, little g. Little g, little g. Does that look right? Why? Okay. Yeah. So we finally figured out how we get our little purple baby. Awesome. So we had all our possible combinations. Each one's going to have the same results for offspring ratios each time. We only have recessive phenotypes. So little a, little a, little a, little a. We couldn't have had that because we had green. Both green parents. So that wasn't going to work. Did I skip over some of the notes? Okay. If you have half recessive, half dominant, you're going to end up with half and half. And that's not right because we didn't have a recessive parent. We have a quarter recessive and 3/4 dominant. So the big G, little g, big G, little g. We end up with one baby, recessive, 3 that are going to display the dominant trait. Just like our little picture on this last slide. If all of our offspring were dominant, we had a couple of ways to get there. Either that first Punnett square we did, big G, big G, big G, big G, or the big G, big G, big G, little g combination. We had all green babies. That's how we could have got there. Okay? That's it on our presentation. I missed one. I think I skipped over that one right there. Because we were doing that on the board. So if you want to write all that down, go ahead and do that. Okay? So y'all do really well with Punnett squares, so I don't think our next activity is going to be bad at all. It's gonna be fun. gonna make our own little goats.
We're doing goats instead.
We're gonna do it with goats. It's gonna be fun. But you don't just get to pick your goat traits. You have to flip a coin for your goat traits to see if something's gonna be dominant or recessive, or what trait it's gonna have. Okay? First thing I'm gonna do is hand out this worksheet, then we're gonna pick partners at random. And then we'll go over this, how we do it. You actually get to draw your own goat, everything. Okay, let's draw partners. So I'm gonna draw the first name, see who draws first. Isaac, I picked you. You pick partner. That's amazing. I don't know how that happened. Isaac and Brianna. Alright. Brianna, pull the next name. Let's see who gets picked next. Cooper gets picked. Cooper and Connor. Okay, Connor. Draw our next one. Zach. Alright, Zach. I'm gonna get Kelsey's name out because she's not here. Zach, draw. Jacob. And that leaves. Let's see. Yep, Kiara, Cecily, and Lindsay as a trio. Okay? So let's go over the instructions real quick, okay? Each group's gonna grab a penny. So, Jacob, Cooper, excuse me. And feel free to move around so your groups can work.
Not seeing that.
Give me just a minute to get these guys going. And then, okay. So groups of 2, except for our one group of 3, we're going to use our pennies to determine the genotype and phenotype of our group. Okay, so I just gave you 1 penny. We're just going to use the 1 penny twice every time. Okay. For each trait, you'll flip 2 coins. You're just going to flip the same one twice. Each coin represents an allele. Heads on each coin represents an allele for dominant trait. Tails represents the recessive allele. Okay? For example, if you got heads once, tails the next time, because you're going to flip it twice for each trait, you would have the heterozygous. Okay? So you're going to record the genotype for your goat for each trait. Then record the phenotype created by the genotype. Finally, on this next page, we have a goat that has some stuff missing. You're going to draw whatever phenotypes you got from your coin flips. Okay? The traits that we're going to be flipping for: horns, the waddle, hair, ears, behavior, and markings. So if we go to the second page, maybe if you aren't a goat farmer and you don't know quite what some of these things are, it explains. So polled, I don't know why the copy machine decided to cross out polled. No horn is dominant to horns, okay? So you might want to write polled there on that top one, so you know that polled is dominant to horns. Okay? Polled is dominant to horns. So no horns, dominant to horns. Okay?
So if I got a tail and a head.
Waddle on the neck It is dominant to no one. You can look at the picture there, and it shows that little hunk of skin or hair on the neck. Okay? The hair, long hair is dominant to short. Ears, long ears dominant to short ears. Nervous behavior is dominant to docile behavior. Alpine markings are dominant to solid color. Okay? One more thing before we start flipping coins. On the back page, you're going to identify 3 traits you think are most valuable in your goats. So do you think the behavior is most valuable? What do you think is most valuable? You're going to write 3 things you think is most valuable. Then, let's see, somewhere is a part where you, yeah, okay. So you're going to state whether that is a recessive or dominant trait. The behavior, ear length, whatever that might be. Question 11 is where it gets fun. You're going to pick another group, and you're going to breed with their goat. And you're going to see what phenotypes and genotypes you could possibly get. And you're going to make the Punnett squares for the 2 groups of goats. Okay? And then you're going to describe what that offspring would look like. If there are questions, go ahead and get going.
Behavior was never shown. So we got heads, tails,
You pulled her name out. Oh, amazing.
So, Mr. Jones,
Yes.
you want to straighten like this, right? Or you want to-
Yep, so the phenotype is the physical. So, fold, the color, all that, yep. Or I guess color wasn't one of them. The waddle, the, yeah, ear length. Crazy commercial perspective.
no horn, short ear.
It's gonna be a good looking goat or a weird looking goat?
A weird one.
Weird looking goat.
Yeah, I can't draw. So he's driving. But he's nervous, ain't he? So you're gonna drive a big ass.
Oh, that would be a big one. You got. Just a big one, bloodshot.
Gonna be some funny looking goats, I can tell. So that's the physical. So yeah, does it have horns or is it pole? Whatever your coin flip like you
That's pretty.
I think this is right. All we're getting is pennies.
choose. You think it's a rigged penny? I can trade you pennies.
Nope, and then all they do is get tails.
So it looks like those two groups are working together, so you two will work with Brianna and Isaac. Alright. Is it a good looking goat or is it a weird looking goat?
I don't know if there is a good
Just do the best you can.
Yeah.
Have long hair.
Shaggy goat.
How's your goat looking? Cool?
It's gonna look like goat. She's crazy.
Long hair.
Yeah.
If your goats are sadly might help you sell his pets.
I was trying to make a bad thing good.
The horns could be good.
Yeah, but then they can also grow back. Like they much will go back into the school. Okay. So they can do that. Yeah, they can do that.
Protect themselves.
Not saying it, describe it, so I'm gonna put it, if it's in there, just write it.
We can do the outline markings, so we can look through them and see, and then just deploy them and solve them more. Because they really.
You know what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How's this group go? Just about ready to go. Yep. Cool. You two about how we go ready to go read with another groups? Awesome. I used to do it.
There you go. Hold it in the top.
So water is
That's the one they copied twice. Wait a minute, how are we gonna breed them together if they're both females?
Lindsay and I have really
Yeah.
asked that question. Kind of like, okay, we're playing.
That's a little odd. Big lesbian nuts.
Any questions as you're combining the two goats? You got it figured out. Looks like we're doing okay.
These are tic-tac-toe. Remember Cooper? Hey, do you have long hair, Lizzie? Yeah. So cold.
Isn't hair L?
What?
We have a lot.
One big, one little.
Maybe a
Is
cool.
it 5% of a pound?
Probably not.
What percent?
Or
Oh, we're nervous?
Sorry.
Oh boy. Is you nervous? Go.
So you're. But we use ours. Yeah. I know, because I did that one right, and I just pulled over. It doesn't really matter. It's the same anyways.
So this crew all done?
Yeah.
So how'd your goats turn out?
It's gonna be cold with long hair, and there's a 75% chance of having a lot.
Interesting. So what were your 3 traits that you thought were the most important?
Hair, cold, and water.
Okay. Were yours the same? Or do you have different 3 traits?
Long hair, long ears, and all my mom.
Make sure you fill in what your offspring would look like. Hey Connor, could you go over to Mrs. Hawkins' room and get that new netbook card? The white one. Make sure you unplug it. Process opens.
What is that?
And infestation.
So, yeah, we could get flying ants.
Oh boy, flying ants in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It's too much effort.
So grab those pennies back when you're all done, so we can use them again. You. It's hard to get a hold of.
Mrs. Hopkins just told me I passed the message.
Mrs. Hopkins, tell you what?
I had researching
Did you make any progress with that?
They didn't answer, so I'm
Oh, it is.
I hope
But Mr. Ford, do you think we could like probably, if one person.
Finish back while everybody's finishing up, and we'll have
I
a.
sent you exactly where you're at, Mrs. Wilson, as soon as you said.
Okay.
So what the deal is they have some teachers can be out of town. So we have to make plans. So they can
But I didn't get 102 yet. Oh, that's Do we have a quiz?
What?
Do we have a quiz?
This was the test.
Those of you that are joining, come grab a handbook.
Are you assigned numbers?
Here. Oops. Alright. Hey, what are we doing now? Once we finish up, we're gonna have a quick review.
Oh.
We're done.
You all done?
We're done.
So how did your go?
Weird go.
Weird go.
Hey, Lindsay, you have a phone?
Huh?
You have a phone?
Oh.
Go ahead and have a seat. Actually, grab a netbook. Have a seat while we're coming up.
actually work a lot
We're
better.
gonna talk about these labs. real
Yes,
quick.
Yeah, the new netbooks work
Can I ask you a
better.
question?
Yep.
It does.
How do you raise two female goats today?
Well, we're imagining one is male, one's
Technology
female.
is advanced.
We're just imagining.
Wait, I thought this was.
Did you check that list
Batteries all
or
set.
that magazine rack?
Hey,
over there?
Mr. Jones,
Okay.
what
What's
is
up?
the hormone that humans can inject into cows for muscular population?
Human chorionic
Oh, that's
HCG. Yep.
close enough.
You're all close. I should have given you it since you knew the human, but
What do I have to do for the
okay. The one quiz was. Let's see. Did you do timber cruising?
No.
Okay. Can you just look up the timber cruising stuff, like how to do the measurements? The other one was shoot. I think it was the dendrology one. Is that right? So the leaf shapes and stuff. Or did you do that? Oh, forest ecology is the other one. Yeah, forest ecology is the other one. And there's some notes, I think, in that.
Okay. Wasn't the poster just like, what did we have to have on it?
Species, where it's grown, is it harvested for
Wait, what was
products?
This?
This is like a long that first tree project.
Oh.
Okay, so how did these labs go? What did you think? Was it kind of fun to make your own goat? Did you get good looking goats or did you get kind of weird looking goats? Okay. Connor, how did your goat look when you got all done?
It's pretty crazy.
What sorts of phenotype traits did it have?
Short ears, long hair, it had a wall, and it had a very nervous looking.
Very nervous.
It looks like it sneezed, should not forget.
Jacob, yours had long hair. What are the ears? Long ears. Nervous. Oh boy. How did you do? How was your original goat?
It had horns, a lot of long hair, so it was nervous and
Awesome.
Not seeing the forest at home.
Okay. Do you have a active cloud today?
Do we need to go to Kahoot?
Yes, go to kahoot.it. Come in like right after school.
Oh wait, what about last week?
Yeah, I'll have all stuff for you. Okay.
What's the game?
it's, you don't have,
Kahoot.it.
yeah, but it's,
My
you
bad.
don't have to.
Game and
Right?
No.
should come up here pretty quickly.
6048.
No, you won't be.
60448. And I used these the other day, and they worked really well. So hopefully, what's up?
I grabbed 15 minutes.
They're both almost there. Okay. I was working on trying to get the board to work yesterday.
I did color, I can't keep it in the line.
There are no lines. It's OR, isn't it?
I have 4 players. I'm missing a few.
I'm not even there yet. I'm barely even getting off the internet.
Hey, we're in there.
These computers are touchscreen.
Lenore?
So if you're playing a game and you want to just tap the color, you can do that.
Lenore.
They're almost like an iPad. Pretty cool.
Almost. Not quite.
And like Brianna's doing, they do come off of the keyboards. Basically make them a tablet. 1, 2, 3. Missing 2 players.
I'm getting there for
I
school.
got the screen.
No.
No speaker.
You can go if I see you.
Hang on. Just
I'm
keep
guessing,
back.
Jake,
I'm hanging.
Pants.
Let's put duckfish. Dorkfish.
Dorkfish. Trying to put curly.
JK Dorkfish.
JK?
That's just snap.
Connor, are you in?
It's just.
Yeah, I'm Lenore. I'm
Hey,
with
hurry
Lindsay.
up.
Oh, you 2 are playing it. Okay.
I've got the
Lindsay,
keyboard,
Connor's
she's got the
Lenore.
screen.
I was trying to figure out why I was missing 2.
It's like when you get like
There
a
we go.
toddler, like a
Yeah,
plate.
or like.
Ready? Go.
Like play cards.
Now I'm ready.
steering wheel.
Now you're ready? Ready, Brianna? Isaac?
Okay, ready?
7-question review quiz of terms we did today. What is
He's shutting
homozygous dominant?
down. It's just shutting down.
Uh-oh.
Wait.
Homozygous dominant, what is it? Got 8 seconds.
Got it.
I had to read.
Most alleles are dominant. Everybody that was in got it. Dak unfortunately killed his computer right as we were starting. That's
Don't
alright.
click the button, I know.
Just play with Jacob. Just use his. Good job. That's why he's got fast fingers.
What? No, wait.
Lindsay's got
It's
slow
just not-
fingers.
okay.
Everybody still good?
Back.
What is an allele? portion of DNA, a specific gene, a physical characteristic from each.
51.
A specific gene. Physical characteristic from a gene is a good close miss. I don't feel too bad about that one. But it's actually the specific gene. Nope. Cecily still got lightning fingers. Lindsay and Connor are catching up. Genotype. What is it? Genes an organism contains, physical characteristics of an organism, or I don't know. Genes an organism contains. Genotype is genes that organism contains. Phenotype. Phenotype, what's up? Okay. I don't know, genetic makeup, physical characteristics.
I know.
Physical.
I know, we got
So I saw a couple people missed last one, said that it's the physical characteristics. That's the phenotype. Good catch.
Not gonna lie. No. Oh my god.
So our lead is up 60 points. Cool. Heterozygous, what does that mean? Both recessive, one dominant, one recessive, both dominant, neither.
What?
One dominant and one recessive.
What?
Heterozygous is
No.
different.
Just go for it. If we didn't sit down, we did it.
So remember, homo, same, hetero, different.
So wait, which one's the one where the two recessive?
Homo.
Homozygous recessive. Yep.
I didn't.
So think of homo as the same. So whether that's dominant or recessive, homo is always going to be the same. Okay? Don't get too frustrated. You'll get there.
GG.
Big G, little g could be described as homozygous, heterozygous, dominant, or recessive. Heterozygous.
Hey.
We're a long way.
Big G, little g. We had one of each. So it's both. Good.
It's like hard to like look at it, hard to read it, and then.
This tool is used to calculate the possible offspring of two parents.
No, shoot!
Oh.
Yes!
This is to make you read the question. I know a lot of people just saw pun it and went for it.
I was looking for
Actually, most people just saw PU and went for it.
You got it.
So, Lindsay Connor take over.
Leonard.
Lindsay and Connor. Concrete.
I knew it. I just.
That's the end of that
I
one.
know. That's a
Would you like to play again?
Yes! I know.
Let's try it again.
Wait, how do we get?
Don't do anything. It should just work.
Okay.
Okay?
I just screwed up. Like, shut it down or something. Something's going on.
We've got, what, 5 minutes?
Backspace blocks you out.
It's not
Okay.
connected. See, look.
Ready?
Cecily, I got this. This is fun.
Don't be a trigger finger.
No.
You're doing
Did you do it again?
Do it again.
Because I
A couple people did it again.
The orange didn't you?
Couple people did it again.
Was going to be there. Almost.
Genotype. Genes and organism contain.
behind Cecily.
Blah. Curly's on board this time, that's good. Allele.
Where you got Rob?
Yes, next, third place.
That's sex cell is called a gamete. And a portion of DNA is just a portion of DNA. Okay? Homozygous dominant. Okay. Both alleles are dominant. Both are recessive.
I was getting there.
Either are dominant. One allele is dominant, one recessive. Both are dominant. Good job.
Who's in second place?
Isaac.
What?
I'm at 3%.
Trash talk.
Crap.
Big G, little g. How would you describe that?
Oh, I thought you picked green for a second. I was gonna say.
Yes.
Ha!
Coming up
Heterozygous.
on you, Connor.
Remember, homo, same, hetero, different.
Time with you.
How are you tied?
No, you're not.
Heterozygous. You got 2 questions left. Heterozygous. Good
2
job.
points behind you. That's not funny.
Hetero, different, homo, the same. So remember that.
Ooh, Isaac, you dropped.
Yeah, that's right.
Phenotype. Phenotype. Physical. Excellent work. Let's see who won this round.
Wait,
I
there's
got
this?
it.
Lindsay. Curly gets second.
It wasn't just like
Kiara, Lindsay, Connor, sorry.
That's Leonard.
Give me a little feedback. Thumbs up, thumb down. Happy face, brownie face. What do you think?
We won something. What I recommend.
Brownie face, 'cause I lost.
Brownie face because you lost. That's a bummer.
Hey, I just died. That was perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Final results. Lindsay, Connor, Curly, Kiara, Cecily, and Bree. Go ahead and put those netbooks up. Make sure you get plugged in. A couple of them haven't been getting plugged in right.
I just died.
Yeah.
Do you want the punch, the damage thing?
I would like that goat lab, please. Yeah. Keep your notes, but turn in the goat lab.
Oh my
That almost was really bad.
That was almost a disaster.
Really bad.
Okay, more like 3 days. Let's see.
What?
Yep, I would like your goat lab.
Yeah?
Alrighty. Thanks, Cecily. Next time, we'll get going on a little bit more in-depth genetics. How much cell structure education have you had? Much? A lot? Okay.
I know. I was gonna say,
Gotcha. Alright. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Out there, it's still snowing.
Is it still snowing?
Yeah, still quite a bit of snow, so don't get too wet.